Hey there, boss babe. It's Nikki Hennessy from Conscious Communication here. Today, I want to talk to you about my number one secret for tapping into creativity. Do you ever feel creatively stuck or tapped dry? Like those little leprechauns of inspiration just aren't whispering in your ear at the moment? Me too, it happens all the time. But luckily, I've got a surefire way to tap back into that feeling of flow. The secret is to get your head out of the way. For me, my creativity is intrinsically linked to my yoga practice. Or really, I should say, my connection to that inner well of creativity is intrinsically linked to my ability to remove my mind from the process. And the most effective way of doing that for me is through my yoga. Let me explain. Our creativity is deeply seated in our spirit. It's chilling down there alongside our intuition, rocking out a super zen lotus pose, just waiting for the chance to burst into action. It's something beyond our rational, logical mind. A deep and powerful energy we all have inside of us. But it's also something that's not just of us. Something that moves through us, often with a sense of it coming from somewhere greater. You know the feeling. You're tuned in and in the flow, your creative juices are pumping, and it's like your cells are alight with an inner zing. That feeling, that flow, being in the creative zone, is a place of deep connection. But tapping in like that requires a channel for the energy to flow through. And what's the biggest roadblock standing in the way of that river of inspiration? The incessant chatter and resistance of our mind. The mind is a tool of the ego, and unfortunately, the ego is not keen on letting us succeed in our creative endeavors. The ego's existence is threatened by anything that offers us the potential to rise above our reliance on it. And heart-pouring creativity is one major threat. As Steven Pressfield says in his insanely amazing book, The War of Art. Quick side note here, if you follow me on Facebook, you've probably heard this before. And if you don't, come hang with us because we have lots of fun over there. But I cannot recommend this book enough for anyone, whether you work in the creative space or not. It's truly amazing. Anyway, Pressfield puts it perfectly when he says, "The ego hates it when the awakening writer sits down at the typewriter. The ego hates it when the aspiring painter steps up before the easel. The ego hates it because it knows that these souls are awakening to a call, and that call comes from a plane nobler than the material one, and from a source deeper and more powerful than the physical." As we try to tap into our creativity, the ego throws the mind in the way, creating chatter and procrastination and distractions. It fills our mind with to-do lists, with pointless worries, cravings, and crazy inner dialogue. For thousands of years, yogis have used the physical practice of yoga as a tool to quiet the mind and remove it as a block to inward reflection and meditation. And that's exactly what you need to do when your ego mind wants to derail your creativity train. When I sit down to write after a morning practice, it just works. When I haven't practiced, meh. Sometimes I can churn something out, but it's harder work. There's more struggle involved and it doesn't feel as good. And that's really the key. It's supposed to feel good. Now, I know that getting that physical practice into my routine is pretty much essential in unleashing my creativity. But before you start to tune in with the whole, yoga is just not my thing, this does not apply to me, just wait. The concept isn't contingent on it being yoga. For you, it might be going for a walk, a run, a surf, hitting your meditation pillow, or heading to the gym. The idea is to do something, anything, that gets you out of your head and into your body, so that constant buzz of your brain is quietened. If you've ever experienced an epiphany during a run or in Shavasana, that's it. That's your inner creative spark jumping up and down and making itself heard in the space created by your quiet mind. Whatever it is, the first and most important step is recognizing what it is that helps you cut away those blocks to free the path for your creativity to bound forward to its full potential. As they say, knowledge is power, so now you can use that knowledge to your advantage. If you know what you need to do it. Try it out. Let me know how you go. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you found this post helpful or interesting, then share the love with anyone you think might need some help in harnessing their creative energy. Thanks, lovely. I will see you next week.